Hello writers, come write with me. My name is Mykela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my channel, Write with Mykela. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today is the first day of season 3.2. Why season 3.2? Well, because we finished reading Eleni's Pride Breaking Point, which was the first book in that series, and we finished that on Friday. And this Friday, we will get a new plot, or a continued plot to share and write with. And also, Eleni's Pride has 3 books. So I wanted to keep the story within a season. That's why it's a 3. Season 3, but then the first book was point 1 and the second book is point 2. And then the third book will be point 3. The subtitle of book 2 is Regrouping. So we had Eleni's Pride Breaking Point. Now we're going to have Eleni's Pride Regrouping. Now let's start our review. What did we learn in season 3.1? In the first episode of the season, we reviewed season 2. And we also looked at where ideas come from. We learned that ideas are all around us. Even from a picture or the cover of a notebook. I told you about the story that I have for this one, Single White Flower. We started one of the others. So It can come from anywhere. We can participate in or witness a conversation and it spark an idea. We can look out the window as we drive or ride around in a car. Ideas are all around us. We also learned not to look at the blank page. We don't look at... There's nothing here. I can't see anything. I don't know anything. No, we don't look at the blank page. We look around us. So, in the second episode, we received the plot, or the first part of the plot for our new story. And I named my story Eleni's Pride, as we already discussed. Next, I'm going to review our jargon or our vocabulary. And then after we do that, we'll come back and get all the writing prompts. Episode 3, we looked at abscond, offuscate, and surreptitious. Episode 9, we looked at some characteristics, and those were pessimist, optimist, and realist. Episode 15, we looked at 2 more characteristics, and those were sadistic and masochist. Episode 19, we had the terms temerity and prudence. Episode 25, we discussed anticlimactic and cliffhangers. Episode 31, we looked at the term lackadaisical. And we kind of reminded ourselves about the episode of Sins and Virtues. But we expanded lackadaisical quite a bit on that episode. Episode 33, we looked at coercion, collaboration, compatible, and compliant. Those were some good terms or concepts to use in our stories. Episode 35, we looked at swindle and succored. Episode 37, we looked at conflate and converge. Episode 39, we looked at convoluted. Episode 41, we looked at compare and contrast while reminding ourselves of similes and metaphors. We also looked at comparative adjectives and superlative adjectives. And we also said that contrast was not necessarily opposites. So, it was just a difference in those terms, not necessarily opposites. Wow, that's 26 words or concepts. Feel free to review any terms you don't remember And leave a comment on your favorite one or on a term you've used to help build your stories. Maybe it wasn't your favorite, but it really fit with your story. Now, our writing prompts. Let's look at our cave stories. We wrote on or added to our caves in episodes 5, 13, 21, 29, and 37. In my cave story, I have 12,026 words, and quite a bit has happened. We started the cave story in season 1, episode 25. Then we continued it in season 2, episodes 15, 25, 35, and 43. That is 10 times that we have written on that story. We started by finding, discovering, or falling in a cave, and we described things, and we set a scary mood. And then we continued exploring our caves, and we went back to look at the people that were looking for us. We set up our protagonist and our antagonist, and we started piecing things together. I really can't wait to read your stories. They should be coming along nicely. The next writing prompt we had was to describe an alien in episode 7. I had fun with this, and then I used that for my NaNoWriMo challenge, so we didn't do anything else with it on the channel. But I do have over 50,000 words, over 51,000 words on that one. Not sure how many I ended, but I have words on that one. Then I found a journal with a downed soldier, so we started another story. That was episode 11. We continued this story in episodes 27 and 35. We have barely started this story. Or at least I have barely started the story. I don't know if you're writing besides when we write on the channel. That would be awesome. But mine is only 3,080 words. So just a little bitty snippet. And I've told you before that usually to kind of know where a story's going or whatever, I need to write 10,000 or so words. And that kind of gives me enough to kind of say, oh, yeah, I was going this way. 3,000 isn't exactly that yet, but we'll continue it and it'll get there. Leave a comment on your word count. You can, if you have your computer open, you look at the bottom left screen, and usually it'll say something like page 2 of 4 or 67 of 117 or whatever your page count is, and then right beside that you'll have, like this document right here is reading 1,052 words. So it's not a big document, but you can find your word count in the bottom left corner of your computer screen when you have the document open. At least it should be there. Sometimes it goes away and then you have to reset the formatting, but leave your word count in the comments. Leave your down soldier and your cave word count if you're working on both of those. The final writing prompt was something we started together with a scene, and it was wide open from there. We started that in episode 17, and we continued in episode 31. Now, surprisingly, my story for this that goes with the setting is 3,168 words, which is slightly more than a down soldier, even though we wrote on a down soldier 3 times and only on the one with the setting twice. Of course, yours may be different. I don't know if you just write when you're here with me or you write after the video's done and you hear what I read, then you like have more ideas, and then you're like, oh yeah, I should do that. So leave your word counts. That is going to be, one of our ways that we share and we build our communities and we know everybody's out there. So is when you say, oh yeah, I'm working on this one. I'm not so much working on that one, but the word count is this and that. So leave that in the comments. Now, we've missed all the even episodes. In the even episodes, we read Eleni's Pride, Breaking Point, starting with the prologue in episode 4. So this season, we had less jargon than we normally have, and we had a lot more writing prompts. And you are welcome to use the channel however best fits your needs. If you need to only work on one story at a time, you can use this episode to note down when we did the different writing prompts. I'm trying to space each one about 4 weeks apart. But we now have 3 stories going. Besides the shared plot, we have the 3 stories going. So that is a writing prompt 3 weeks in a row, and then some jargon. And I guess I could leave more time between the writing prompts, but I think 4 weeks between is a sufficient amount of time. We don't want everybody to forget what's going on. So 3 weeks in a row, we do writing prompts and then some jargon in that 4th week. I'm also trying to throw in a word or two on our writing days. It would be really awesome if I gave us some jargon and then I used it in the writing, but I don't know that I can plan that so well, because sometimes the writing just flows, and I don't necessarily say, oh, I want to emphasize this or whatever. Anyway, join me Friday for our new plot so we can continue Eleni's Pride. I named the second book Regrouping. You're welcome to put our next plot at the end of the first one, so you can put 3.1, 3.2 right behind. Or you can intermingle the 2 plots. Let your creativity reign. Join us Tuesday for us to add to the story with your cave. So we'll do that next Tuesday. And maybe some jargon. Our order for our writing prompts this 3.2 season will be our caves, a down soldier, and that doesn't have to be your title. Whatever you title it is what you title it. So I'm not telling you the title. I'm not dictating that. And then the 3rd one will be the story that started with a setting. And I'll throw in some jargon each week, or I'll try to. And the 4th week will be just jargon or just concepts or characteristics for your stories. So don't forget to share your writing prompts, to send your writing prompts and your chapters to WritewithMykela@gmail.com. And all works shared on the channel are copyright protected, so there is no worry there. In between days, don't forget to visit my website, bymykela.com, and read some character bios. If you hit the like and the subscribe and the bell, then we will continue to write together. Also, that will help push the channel out there so we can build our community of writers, have more of us and more ideas to bounce around with each other and stuff like that. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, then please share it with them. This is Mykela with Write with Mykela. Bye for now.